sleep. All right, so we're getting some cooler temps this week. That's exciting news.
Well, slightly cooler. I think
every little bit helps, Cass.
I know. We did make it to 100 degrees yesterday. Today, I think we should stay under that by just a few degrees. It's not going to be by a whole lot. It's not going to be cool by any means. But if we can get the rain and storms in here earlier, that would certainly have an impact on temperatures. We had some storms in the state yesterday.
Right.
Did not make it into Oklahoma City, but man, they caused some very strong wind gusts, especially in western Oklahoma. But Jim Gardner in Bob Mills Sky News 9, he saw, these power poles were down. You could see the towering cumulonimbus storm clouds that were really ominous looking, especially from a distance, with a lot of heavy rain and quite a bit of lightning with it as well. At times, we also had some small hail, a nice rainbow, and again, just a lot of wind just kind of blowing a lot of the dust around. But yeah, beautiful shot from Jim Gardner. We also had Marty Logan and Tom Pastrano, Val Castor. They were all out and about. Let's go ahead and go to links 2. I'm going to show you where the rain fell. Now, most of it, even from this morning, has fallen in eastern Oklahoma, but we ended up with 0.56 in Kingfisher and a little over an inch, though, in Putnam, but nothing here in Oklahoma City. We did have an isolated shower in Oklahoma City earlier today, but it didn't make it to the airport, so it's not really going to quite count. But a couple of showers still left across the east and the southeast, really weakening as they drop to the southeast. Just north of Stonewall, another one just north of Hennepin, kind of scattered down there. This is our American Fidelity camera, part of our Pike Pass SkyCam network. More of a partly to mostly sunny sky. 90 degrees, the south-southeast wind at 9, dew points in the upper 60s, so it feels more like the low 90s. Temperatures already reaching into the mid and upper 90s in the southwest, but where we've had a lot of rain and clouds so far this morning, temperatures only in the 70s in eastern Oklahoma. Right now, that wind's generally out of the west to southwest between about 5 to 15. We've got a boundary that's still just kind of hanging out around the state, and that's going to be the focal point for more storms here later this afternoon and into the evening. But it's going to take a few more hours, it looks like, before we really get going. But I do think at least some of the data has consistently been showing that probably after about 5 or 6 o'clock, we should get some rain and storms that kind of develop around the metro, basically along I-40 in areas to the west. That's the main area. And then later this evening, everything kind of weakens and pushes to the south before overnight tonight. Things look pretty quiet, and then tomorrow looks dry for most of us. So again, a little unsettled later this afternoon and evening, a few showers and storms that could briefly become strong to severe with some hail and some very strong wind. But after that, it just looks quiet. It looks hot. Temperatures in the mid and upper 90s here eventually. I think the rest of this week we should generally stay in the mid 90s after today at least, because we're going to have a northeast wind. Some good news though, as we get to about midweek of next week, it looks like a stronger storm system is going to be over the Great Lakes, and that's going to allow for some cooler air, while the region of high pressure starts to move even farther to the west, so that's going to allow at least a break in our temperatures here and there, maybe a little bit of rain as well. Today, though, I still think we have a pretty good shot of hitting at about 97 degrees in Oklahoma City, especially if the rain doesn't come until later this evening. But for this afternoon, generally just a slight chance of isolated showers and storms in western and central Oklahoma, while the storms in the southeast come to an end. But later this evening, I think the metro's kind of a bullseye at this point. So I'm going with about a 40% chance that the storms actually do get going later this evening. Again, probably after about 5 or 6 o'clock, so early evening. Tonight, temperatures drop down into the low 70s. The storms go away overnight tonight, but tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny. It's still hot despite a northeast wind between 10 to 20, temperatures in the upper 90s across the south. And that is also where we will still have at least a slight chance of a few rain and storms across the Red River. By Thursday, that wind's generally out of the north and east between 10 to 20. Temperatures still in the mid 90s in Oklahoma City, the low 90s across the far east, and some mid and upper 90s in western and southwest Oklahoma. So it's not going to be cool this week by any means. That northeast wind, it just doesn't look like it's going to be very impactful for us. The overnight lows dropping into the 70s and upper 60s and low 70s, at least briefly. But it looks like the hundreds, we're probably not quite done with those just yet.
Just a brief break will do.
Yeah, and hopefully we do get the rain in here later today. It looks like it should happen. We'll see if it actually falls at the airport. That's when it counts.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Cass.